Good morning. Hi, everybody. Sorry I was a little bit late. Needed to get a little bit of nourishment into my body. How is everybody? Nice, refreshing, cool summer morning here in Michigan. If anybody is tapping in from somewhere else that's maybe not so comfortable, I'm sorry. I'm sure that there's something to still marvel and enjoy about this morning. So, good morning. I'm Belinda. I'm with Just Be Yoga, and we're here for our home yoga practice live. Going to take a little swig of some juice. And today we are in our power day. So, good morning. Hey, Claudia. Hey, Joe. If you are just joining and maybe missed yesterday, we started talking about this week. We're going to do a little thing about giving you some tools to be able to create the plan, your yoga plan, so that you're working on your personal practice and starting to develop and think about when you're wanting to get on your mat, what is it that you're working on? And then how do we stick to it? Kind of bringing together a lot of the aspects of different themes of different weeks that we've been working on. I tried to put this concept together as well on the blog, so feel free to go to justbeyoga.com and see if that kind of gives you a little bit better framework combined with our video work. So we're going to get started today. I'm scanning up here now a little bit about the practice plan. First part, making your notation of what it is that you're working on, whether it's staying calm, whether it's trying to be more aware of your body, or it could be loosening the hips, or it could be finding work-life balance, not be so reactive. It could be trying to figure out whether you have a spiritual belief. There can be so many things that you choose to say, this is what I want to practice. And then we'll put together how do we move and breathe and find focus practices to connect in with what you're wanting to work on. Then the amount of time that you want to spend to it. Again, if you wanted to just use our time together, that's great. But I would love it that, if you could find 20 minutes, an hour on your own so that you're starting to say, I am doing this thing for me, and how I move and how I sit and how I breathe, that's all for me. And third is observing. So then what do you observe about how you're connecting in with that balance space, how you're connecting in with what comes up when you focused just on your hips? What was the context and the framework of working on being in your hips? And writing it down. What came up for you, memory-wise, resistance, and then lastly, guidance. Who's your teacher? What are the frameworks that are helping you navigate your way through what it is that you're wanting to learn? So it can be a human teacher. I wholeheartedly advocate for human teachers, but there can also be books as guides. The only thing that I suggest is try not to hop around too much. At first, start off, choose, stick with it, read it again, and maybe even have a practice buddy. All right, we're going to get to moving in today with our practice. And today is powering. And so I'm going to be working on moving and sticking with some spaces of fire. Fire is a great way to cleanse things, right? Anybody who has ever cured a cast iron pan, cleaned a grill, the fire, it helps to purify, brings that fuel, burns off excess. And it also helps us check in with the state of our engine. And we might realize, I need more rest for my engine to function. I need a little bit more stillness, or check in with my nutrition, my indoor-outdoor time, so that my engine has some balance. All right. So I generally like to start my practice with sitting. It could be standing. Bring to mind the what that I am practicing. And for me, it is not feeling the need to exert so much control all the time. And being willing to look at when those patterns emerge. Connecting in with my body. It feels a little more rested, a little less beat up as it did yesterday. So yay. It's trying to digest the few little cherries that I ate right before practice, which is not recommended to eat right before practicing. So I'm feeling that, and that's going to probably guide whatever I do on my belly. Inquire of my breath. How are you? It's feeling a little tentative, but I'm coaxing it out. It's feeling a little more safe. And my mind is definitely trying to exert more control. It's trying to tell me things that are more important than being right here, right now. And I bring it back to this room, using the senses as a way to kind of bring us back. The Reese's Pieces in the E.T. movie, just kind of guide the mind back in here, using sight, smell, hearing. There's nothing to be discontented with about this current time, current awareness. There is no future that has a promise of anything better than right this moment. That's a projection. Worries create those projections. Fears create those projections. Aversions and avoidance create those projections. I'm going to find a few abdominal breaths. So I'm going to relax the diaphragm and let the belly expand out. And then just let that breath and the diaphragm to lift back up. Filling up the belly in a smooth, calm manner. Harnessing a bit of tapas, that dedication, that devotion to continue. Notice when you're letting that breath go. Maybe let it quicken a bit. Breathing in, breathing out. Breathing in, breathing out. Bellow the breath through the nose and out the nose. What's getting tense in the physical body? Observe, remember that element of our practice. Observe what happens in the mind. Remember what you're wanting to practice, what you're wanting to connect with. Do that and observe. We'll make our way to child's pose. If you need cushioning under your knees, get some cushions for under your knees. Be in the body, be in the breath. Observe your mind. Try not to analyze. Just be present. You'll journal your observations later. You can reflect all day on your observations. Right now, be present with sensation and awareness. Be aware of awareness. Breath in, relax that tummy. Exhale, tuck the toes, lift the hips down, dog. Inhale, tilt the tailbone up. Exhale, tilt the tailbone down. Observe. Let's do this back and forth. Now make your down dog yours, whatever it is that you need to do to acclimate. Like trying on a new outfit in a fitting room. Check your whole body. From the fingers, through the arms, through the neck, to the top of your head. Sides, waist, front of the tummy, your back, your entire length of your back. Around the thighs, in between the thighs. Feel the pelvis. Feel your genitalia. Feel your calves, your shins, your feet, your toes. Breath in. Exhale, rolling it forward to plank. Now that could be knees down. Feel out where you want to be. Contain and find ease. Check the shoulders and the neck. What are you practicing? Observe. Stay dedicated. And lift the hips up and back. Breath in. Breath out. See if you can make your breath audible. Wide open back of the throat. We'll bring one knee down. Step the opposite leg up. Step the back leg up. Rolling the spine up to standing. Inhale, lengthen and reach. Exhale, forward fold. Half flat back. Plant the palms, step back to plank. That could be hands and knees plank. Lower down. Breath in, cobra. Breath out, down dog. Check in right now. Do you need to stop? What are you connecting with? Look forward. Make your way up to the top of the mat. You could bring a knee down first, or if you're working on taking a nice big, quiet, controlled step, do so. Half flat back. Forward fold. Now I'm really into touch and caressing for me to connect with my softer spaces in me. Rolling the spine up, lifting the head last. Breath in, lifting from the waist, not the shoulders. Exhale, forward fold, letting it go. Half flat back. Find a pace that works for you. You don't have to keep up with me. Stepping back to plank, lowering through. So I'm going to do these sun salutations. A. Breath in, lifting the chest for cobra, keeping the hips down. Exhale, down dog. I'm going to do 3 more for a total of 5. You feel out. Remember what I said about time. Breath in. And step. Can you keep a nice measured pacing and just continue? Breath in. What is tapas? Dedication. Forward fold. Inhale to standing. Notice how you move in your body. Are you in a rush? Breath out. Hear the sound of your breath. Half flat, make space. Stepping it back. Maybe you're going the child's pose. Just because I wanted to do a total of 5 for me does not mean that that is yours. Never lose your breath. Don't lose your ease. Equilibrium. What is equilibrium? You get to start to feel it and measure it. Find your flaws in it and still practice love. Notice what's changed if you're still going. Once you're through 4 or 5 of these, what's different? How do we greet the body in the beginning of our practice? How do we greet ourselves and our mind as we transition to new phases of acclimation? Recognizing that everything is constantly changing, growing, transforming. Nothing is the same. Each moment is a new moment. New energy, new awareness. What leg do you tend to step forward with? Can you bring balance to that? I'm going to calm the standing. I've done my 5. You continue if you wish. Building awareness with my feet, building awareness in my legs, and I'm trying to make sure that I'm not super duper squeezing, I'm not super duper tensing, because I'm remembering moderation and that I don't have to exert so much force for me to be sure that I have power. That's my practice. What are you practicing? How are you doing it right now in your body, in your awareness, in your breath, in your mind? Bending the knees, sinking the butt back chair. Observing my feet and my root. Observing my fire, my breath, my mind. I'm going to cross my left ankle over my right. Now you could stay in a chair, or you could have a cross-legged chair. Slowly coming upright, lifting that left leg. Stepping that left leg back, noticing how I stepped that back, sinking into that right knee, pulling that right hip back, and just feeling my hips, my bones, my flesh, what wants to move. Ooh, what's in a hurry in the piloting of my brain over my body. I can notice my brain still trying to exert so much control. And I'm going to reach forward, left elbow, right knee. That left hand could be on the floor, twisting side angle. Feel your heat building. Pause when you need. Ease in the face and the jaw. Now, for those who were here yesterday, I also said in the what, you could have included like 1 or 2 postures that are things that you want to work on. So today I'm going to have a couple of moments where it's like, and now if you want to add in, if you haven't already, maybe this one isn't your jam. Maybe this one is like, oh my God, it's burning me. You know, this is mine. I'm doing my practice. Work out yours. If you have questions about a posture that you're wanting to work on and we're not on it today or ever, just go ahead and write it out. We'll bring ourselves up. Hands coming down, stepping the back leg up, rolling the spine up. Bending the knees, sinking the butt back chair. First limb of yoga are yamas. Non-harming, non-stealing, non-lying. Moderation, non-hoarding. Reflect. Feel that in your feet, your ankles, your knees. Sit and observe, not judge, not criticize, not even being boastful. I'm going to cross my right ankle above left knee. Breath. You don't have to be here. You choose your amount of time. You could use breaths to count. When you're starting to say, how much time am I committing in my practice, my total practice and per posture, per breath exercise? Coming upright. Stepping that right leg back. Feeling out those hips, feeling my root, feeling my flesh, my bones, being okay with every wobble, and even observing like, oh, okay, I just almost knocked myself over. Where was my mind? And I know that my mind is divided because my mind is giving something to you guys, and it doesn't get to really just be right here. So I give it a healthy dose of forgiveness. Give me a healthy dose of forgiveness. Embrace the honesty of that moment, the non-harming, the kind thought. And then I'll reach forward. I'm going to go for that twist. Remember, that hand could be on the floor. Maybe your body's starting to heat up. Notice what you notice. How about perspiration? Observe. About your root. About your desires right now. Where are you? Hear your breath. Connect. Hands come down. I'm going to step to plank. Make your choice about your plank. Lower. Inhale, cobra. Moderation. Maybe you have the most awesomest up dog. What can be learned right here? Humility, contentment, empower the mind, empower the spirit, and child's pose. I want to do that sequence 3 more times. That may not be for you. I am working in my own space. Remember, maybe now you want to think about somewhere along in this sequence that you're going to add the posture that you want to. It could be 1 or 2. Remember, I didn't want us to pick like 20 poses a week that we're working on. Moderation and observe. So many layers to observe. Observing physically, breath-wise, mentally, wisdom-wise, and spiritually. Your pace. Only thing I'm going to do is count out where I am in my sequence. I'm going to do this whole sequence 3 more times with ease and steadiness. And I'm going to try to keep my pacing, that tapas, the same. And for me, it's a moderate pace today because I'm working on moderation, not having to be in a hurry, not having to be in so much control. Forces me to sit and not want to skip ahead any steps. And I get to observe like this little hungry pressure inside of me that's like, I don't want to sit still. I want to do this other thing. Noticing the power that it takes to harness will. Even the will to find the stand before moving back. Being in the transition. Now, I will admit that in that slow pacing to transition is definitely from my Tai Chi space. Being present in the transition because the transition is the practice. The relationship between substantial and insubstantial. Working and understanding that there is no static energy. All is constantly fluctuating. Understanding that, accepting that, creates a whole new awareness of being present. Because it means being present is being flexible. Hear your breath. Hit that point where my mind says, oh, I'm in this spot now, and this part's going to suck, right? And you start to notice that the mind starts to project a thought, and that can color the whole experience. It doesn't have to suck. So I got to really observe and say, oh, wow, I do a thing. I'm saying a really negative thing to myself. And how did that affect my awareness of my reality? How did that affect my perception of my reality? How did it affect how I lived that moment? Could I have lived that moment any differently? With more ease, more acceptance, more love? And stepping back to plank, completing out my second time through. I'm only saying that for your benefit, but also noticing that when I say that, how it affects my mindset. The mind body. It gets a little giddy. It's like, oh, only 2 more. Okay. Child's pose. Feeling the transition. Again, key for me because moderation while tapping into my power. Ooh. Still trying to keep my mind on the mat. Noticing when my wild horses in my mind are ready to say, oh, I could pay attention to this and that at the same time. That would be called not paying attention. Ready to find number 3 for me. And basically, anytime I notice my mind wanting to rush, I take another breath or 2 wherever I am. Basically saying, cool your own horses, Belinda. Starting my number 3. Now, in your own practices, you don't have to create any kind of complicated sequences. You could do 2 things and just repeat it and pause and reflect. Repeat it, pause, reflect, be present, practice, and detach. Practice and detach. I'm feeling out different pressure points in both of my feet. Applying and noticing what responds in my hips, and my spine, and my belly, and my mind. Are new areas of me being touched, lengthened, maybe stressed? Have I ever met that part before? Reminding myself I have never been here before. This moment in breath is new. This moment as the earth spins is new. This moment in the cellular membranes of my body are new. It's interesting to observe areas that actually feel like they're getting a little stronger. And I'm testing that out, and I really feel like it's not that they're getting stronger, they're becoming more sure, more familiar. Repetition of continued practice builds a base, a foundation of familiarity. Muscles, nerves, reflexes. Finding a familiarity of working together in chorus. To be present and exert the amount of energy needed, still with ease. Feeling the air on my skin, hearing the sounds. Feeling the breath in my body, my belly, my abdomen, my ribs. Lengthening deliberately, feeling out. Hang on, guys. Sorry for Amazon. Hands down, finishing number 3. And lift. And child's pose. Coming into number 4, shifting, lifting, being present in all of the body areas I can. Observing that pacing. It's actually wanting to speed up. And I'm trying to just tell myself, be present, saturate in the now. All that is to come will come. In its time, moderation. All there is my observation and awareness of my sensory perception right now. Of my breath awareness right now. my mental distractions right now. Listening and inviting my inner wisdom and intuition right now. Reaching the halfway mark of the very last repetition of this cycle. Noticing any desire to either slow down or speed up. Feeling devotion and discipline in practice. Embodied. Even trying to moderate my breath. It sounds like it was getting a little angry. Noticing my mind saying, can they see that wobble, that shake? Because, woo, there's some quake in there, huh? Noticing I'm applying more force in the twist than my legs can support. So I started backing off of that, coming back into the ground, paying attention to my root structure, my foundation. Don't let my desires uproot what I can stand. Stepping back to plank. And child's pose. Bringing ourselves up, coming to sitting. Legs out in front of us. Feel that Dandasana. Pushing the backs of the legs down, lifting through the torso. Arms could be at rest or above. Hinging. I'm going to roll the spine up, I'm going to bring the forearms down behind me, propping myself up on the elbows, thrusting the chest up, bringing the very top of the head down, fish. And lift the head, tuck the chin, lower the spine down. Bringing the knees into the chest. Arms open wide, shape of a T. Dropping the knees to the left. Gaze over the right shoulder. And use the core to lift it up and over to the right. And up and over. Think about continuing. Feeling the core wrapping around my ribs. Engaging to give me that security, that squeeze that I need. To bring solidity to my waist so that it has the strength to hoist both of these thighs. Feeling the softness of exerting that power. Calming the center, bottoms of the feet together, knees open. Hands behind the head, lifting the head, elbows out wide. We're going to twist left, center without lowering, twist right, center without lowering, back and forth. Well, thank goodness she doesn't weigh much. Hi, baby. Keeping going without worrying about any distraction. Practicing moderation, staying with breath, staying with mind. You choose how many times. Maybe take a rest and re-engage. Try not to let the elbows come together, keeping them out wide, isolating and feeling. Observing the thoughts in our mind. Lift up through the chin, don't bend the neck. Come the center, pulse 10 times maybe. Maybe it's twice. Maybe it's 4 times. Don't bend the neck. See how much of the shoulder blades you can lift. Breath. Don't be in a rush to go up or down. Even, measured, present, patient. And when you're done with your count, knees and deep breath, sigh it out. Choose here if there's another posture that you want to practice in your practice. I'm going to do a bridge with my feet a few inches apart, knees a few inches apart. You figure out what you want to do. If you want to do a bridge, great. If there's a wheel that you know how to practice safely, great. If you don't know what that is, don't try. Breath. Or if you think you know what it is and you've never tried it with guidance, back to guidance. Don't do it without guidance. Allow your eyes to remain open wherever you are and take in the insight. Draw it within you. See what's possible. See with a new gaze. See with acceptance, not intensity. I am done with that bridge, and I'm going to lower myself down and present my body for Shavasana. So you could be lying on your back. You could be lying curled up in a ball. Your knees could be bent. Protect your back. You want to position yourself for ease and comfort. Inquire of the physical body. How are you? Inquire of the breath body. How are you? Your mental body. How are you? Your inner wisdom. How are you? And your inner light, your spiritual being. How are you? Feel the weight of your body sinking into the earth. Scan various points of the body you're aware of. The weight of that pressing into the earth. Awareness of touch through pressure. Feel the skin and the air on your skin. Bring your attention to an area of the body you rarely have attention to. And see if you can feel that area. How do you know you can feel it? Is it temperature? Is it texture? Is it changing? Feel the skin in your mouth. What areas of the mouth can you be aware of without moving? How does it feel? What does it make you think? Can you detach from that? Observe any other senses you wish. What is the depth of your awareness of that sense? Wakeful stillness. State of Shavasana. Even stillness in the mind, and yet wakeful. Start to emerge from this Shavasana in a present and aware space. No rush. Inviting ourselves up. Circling back. Sitting with what we were practicing. And feeling the connection to that. The connection to actually practicing toward whatever it is that you've chosen. Your yoking. Your yoga. Notice any criticism or buts that we start to say to ourselves. Notice any serenity around that practice, what was revealed, and the current state of now. What is the current state of now within you? What is the truth of this moment? In physicality, in breath and mind and spirit? And can we live in that truth without distraction, without detachment, without attachment? A degree of humility and contentment and bliss. The light and love in me is honored to have shared practice with you this morning, and for you sharing your light and your love with me. Namaste. You don't ever have to say namaste. You can say whatever means, great things for you, an honoring of the space and the energy that you've gotten to share ancestrally, or even just to yourself, acknowledging your inner spirit. So I am really digging being able to share this way with you all. Hopefully, did you get a little sweat? I got a little sweat. Nice little sweat. Sitting in a measured space of practice. Let me know how your plans are going. Do share with me if you have questions about any pose or breath practice that you've chosen to say, I want to practice this. What are we practicing? And So yeah, feel free. I'm gonna hang out for a little bit. All right, Ansel, love you. Take care. Um, uh, yeah, so I'll hang out for a little moment and be able to share. And, if anyone has any questions or anything that they want to share, like, oh my God, this is driving me crazy, or this still doesn't feel like enough, or holy crap, this feels like too much. And while I wait to see if anyone is still hanging out, I see three little eyeballs over there. We are going to have our outdoor yoga tomorrow, 7 p.m., and it's going to be on the LCC campus. It's going to be in that center courtyard area. It's a grassy area, big and spacious, so we'll be able to have more than enough space. I also want to share, in looking at what's going on, I'm still going to be more measured. I don't know if I'm going to keep ramping up to have like more outdoors. Certainly, you guys know that the studio space being so minimal that even if and when indoor space is going to be allowed, or something that feels a little bit more safe, it's still going to be a really minimal occupancy. So like 4 students. So I'm really still sitting with what is the best course for me to continue as far as in any sort of indoor spacing. How are things changing, and how am I keeping my foundation as I continue to walk in this journey of life? All right, outdoor yoga. If anybody wants to join us tomorrow, 7 o'clock at LCC, do feel free. I'm looking forward to seeing and hearing how your practices are developing your personal practice and your personal connection with your yoga. Thanks, you all. I'm deeply honored. Have a wonderful day. Namaste.